Lions TV, we are sponsored by HK Fire and Safety, a company that is owned and operated by a Millwall fan, just like every single one of the sponsors that you can already see on the screen. If you are going to do a bit of business in 2025, then please keep it in the Millwall family by checking out all of our sponsors' website links. You know what they are by now. They're in the description below. This is your preview show. We're looking ahead to tomorrow night's trip to face Birmingham City at St Andrews. Can we make it 6 games unbeaten and keep our unbeaten away record this season in the league intact? As always, let's kick off the show by taking a look at the 11 that Sir Alex might pick to start the match. Okay, so I went on and on the other day, yesterday, in my post-match analysis, and when I do them, I always think there's a couple of things I've missed out. So the 2 things I've missed out, one of them was a word. The word I was looking for with Luke Cundle when I said I can't point out an attribute. It popped into my head this morning. That's the word I was looking for. I can't pick out a genuine strong attribute that Luke Cundle has. For example, Casper Noor, you've got his passing range. Femi Aziz, you've got all-round Tierno Ballo, you've got his pace and his deliveries. I know different types of players. Small Bone, I think he's very authoritative. I think he's very experienced, controls the game very well. Billy Mitchell and Derek Mazusako can get around the pitch really quick, close the space, break up play. And Adamo Mako even, he's got pace. I couldn't tell you one attribute that Luke Cundle has, but it's not the Luke Cundle show. I'm going to get onto it shortly, the team that I think the gaffer will pick. But the other thing I forgot to say in my show yesterday was one of the few good things you can take out of the Oxford game is he now has licence to change it. Okay, we didn't get the result. Might freshen it up now. There's been people waiting in the wings that he probably wants to get on the pitch and give minutes to, but he's not been able to because we keep winning, or we kept winning. That run is still intact, unbeaten, but we didn't make it 5 games in a row. However, it is still 13 points from a possible 15. So we now have Ryan Leonard injured, Femi Aziz injured. We wait for news on both of those. I believe Alfie Doty's injured again. Must have hurt his back getting that new tattoo that I saw him getting on Instagram yesterday. Who knows? But there's a few others as well that aren't still in and around it. So what will the gaffer do? Like we know, he has to change it. So I've done 2 teams here. I've done the team that I would go with, and I've done the team that Alex Neil will go with. Make sure you've taken that in before you start coming after me. Why would you pick him? Why would you pick the Sir? Because I wouldn't. Little spoiler alert. This is the team that I would go with, and then I'll show Alex Neil's one after. All right? So we're going to start on my team. This is what I would go with tomorrow night against Birmingham at St Andrews. Crocombe in goal. I would switch Kramer to right back, although you really don't want to do it because he's flying at centre back. I think it's time for Caleb Taylor to come in and prove himself. Really impressed with him at Crystal Palace. I put him alongside Jake Cooper. Zach Sturges cemented that place at left back. Central midfield, I would go with 3 midfielders. It worked when Smallbone was in there, and he isn't a 10 either. I would go with Mitchell, Sacco, and Denor, which drops Cundle out. Ballo on the left, of course. Nesley on the right. That was a close call for me, that one. And then up front, Macaulay, Langstaff. No offence, the Serb, I've covered it yesterday. He was a complete passenger. He's got to do something in a game other than score. And at the minute, he's not even scoring. If he was scoring, I'd say, look, you know, he puts the ball in the net. He scored 1 goal so far this season. Complete passenger, completely anonymous. Oxford didn't do anything. Didn't win 1 header. Couldn't keep the ball into feet. Didn't start any moves off. Didn't get the ball wide and then get back in the box. Just nothing. Just absolutely zero from him. So on that basis, I covered this yesterday as well. I think Langstaff may or may not be at the level. I think he's a decent impact substitution, but needs must. And for here and now, I can't see what else we're going to do. It might give Ivanovic a kick up the arse if you drop him out. At least we know Langstaff will work hard. At least we'll know he'll run the channels and that he'll pressure defenders. And not only that, he can get the ball into feet and lay it off. He's quick. He can run. You know, that's another attribute he's got. He's fairly quick and he can get into positions. It's just been his finishing really. But first goal of the season at Norwich, and he's not really featured since. He's had a couple of little niggling injuries. I think one of them might have been concussion. So I'd go with Langstaff. I'd be very tempted to put Wes Harding in at right back because I've said for a long time I think Wes is underrated. By the way, some of the comments yesterday said that I go after Jake Cooper all the time. Someone actually replied to the guy and said, you obviously don't watch the channel regularly. It was Brian Rose, I think it was. Cheers, Brian, for sticking up for me. And I just said, I commented back and said, I'm glad you said it because I couldn't be bothered. But yeah, I don't go after Cooper. Always defended him. And likewise, Wes Harding, I think, is a consummate professional. And I would have took Leonard off a little bit early just for the amount of games he's played. Might have stopped him getting that injury. But would I go Wes Harding? It's not that I don't rate Wes. I just think it's time for Taylor to shine. Again, I can't say, because I always say to people, you can't comment, you ain't seen anyone play enough. I ain't seen him play loads, but he looked well capable of the level and above to me against Crystal Palace. So I think it's time for him to come in, push Kramer to right back. He can bomb on a little bit more than Lenny can as well. Don't really want to take Kramer out of the centre of midfield, but that's what I've decided to go. Look at me like I'm picking the team. That's what I've decided to go with. Further up the pitch, putting Nesley in the 10, and then obviously you'd have a Maku on the wing. I just think it might be a little bit too attacking. I'll get onto that when I cover Alex Neil's team in a minute. But Mitchell back in, and Denor and Sacco carrying on. Denor pushing forward. Like Smallbone did. Smallbone isn't what you'd call an outright 10, is he? He's more of a central midfielder. And I just think we can get more involved in the centre midfield. I just think we can dominate and dictate the play a little bit better. And having that core of the three in the middle will help us get up the pitch a little bit more as a team. This is the side that I think the gaffer will go with tomorrow. I think he'll bring Wes Arden in at right back, and I can't argue with that, honestly. It's a close call with that one, and continue with the Cooper-Kramer combination at the centre of defence. In the 10, I think he'll play Nesley. I'll be happy if he plays this team, because it means he's gone attacking. And look, you can see there it is attacking. I think he'll bring a Maku in on the right. What's happened, by the way, to Ray Spanker-Williams? Another one. Doesn't seem like the manager fancies him, doesn't it? It's a shame, because I think he'd be perfect for games like this, potentially to play in that 10. Will he play Kundal? I fucking hope not. He's probably going to score the winner now. Fucking clip that up. But he removed Kundal, didn't he? Kundal clearly wasn't playing well, and the gaffer removed him, so I think that he won't go with that. What he might do, I thought, is he could well put Kundal wide. Know the sort of the Andreas Vogelsam and the George Honeyman role, even though neither of those players played in those positions. And we've seen him do it away from home, play like 2 10s in behind a 1. So he could do that, which he might do. But I think that's the team he'll go with, and I think he'll stick with a big Serb. Rightly or wrongly, we need him to start firing at some point, unless Langstaff comes in and starts firing. But Langstaff's been here before with us, although he wasn't the squad that we are now, and he didn't get the goals, despite not playing bad in little spells at the back end of towards the beginning of last season. So we wait and see. I'm sure you'll let me know what I got right or wrong in the comments, and what Alex Neil has got right and wrong. So let me know, like I said, in the comments, and let's move on to our opposition, as we know by now. And I've already mentioned, it's Birmingham City. Managed by this guy, Chris Davis. I'll be honest, I just had to pause the recording, look up who their manager was, and then when I saw his name, I thought that means absolutely nothing to me, and I had to Google it. So I've just Googled it and cut it in so you didn't see me and waste your time doing that. One of these new age managers, I assume, just looked at his thing. He's never played professional football, just been a coach. And I'm surprised he's in the job. I would imagine it comes with the high pressures. I'm not even sure if he was their manager last season. Poor research from me. I'll hold my hands up on that one. But they're a club, obviously, going places now. They got relegated. They got straight promoted with like a record number of points. They got their owner, haven't they? Tom Hardy, I was going to say. Tom Brady, sorry, not Tom Hardy. Obviously, so they do documentaries on them, and they're a little bit Wrexham. They call that one like the Hollywood Derby now, don't they? Birmingham versus Wrexham. And they both come up with high expectations, but I didn't think either of them would do too well, sort of 12th to 15th, that I put them both sort of in the bracket at the start of the season. But they're doing all right, I suppose. In the last 5 league games, they have won 2. Last time out was an emphatic win at St Andrews on Saturday. The irony are probably just going to hit form at a really bad time for us. They beat Pompey by 4-0, and it sees Birmingham sitting about where I predicted they'd finish, to be fair. 11th in the table on 18 points. There's a nice 6-point gap to us there. If they win the game, they won't get anywhere near us because we're big boys these days. But if we win the game, of course, depending on other results, we could end up back in the top 2. Let's move on to a prediction. And so, this is your pre-match prediction. And here we go. Okay. I spoke to Chris. I've never called him Chris in his life. Chat with Chaps. Great YouTube channel. A really knowledgeable bloke. My best mate rang me up yesterday and went, "Where's your fucking video? Where's your video?" I said, "It ain't ready yet." "Well, why not?" I said, "It's exported." He went, "I've had to go and watch that Chat with Chaps. Tell you what, he's fucking really good." I said, "Well, fuck off and watch his channel then." No, I didn't. I said, "I told you he is. Very knowledgeable. Lovely bloke as well." So, watch his YouTube channel. I'm sure I'm seeing numbers going over there and his subscribers going up. Brilliant for the fan base because, as I said, he's got very, very strong content and he talks a lot of sense, unlike me at times. But I had a chat with him the other day on the phone and we talked about what we would do, what we would hope for out of these 2 games. I'm talking Oxford and I'm talking Birmingham. He said, "I'd rather 3 points." Sorry, grass drop chaps. He said, "I'd rather 3 points out of 2 instead of getting 2. And I get that. I agreed. But now we're in a space where it's either going to be 4 or it could be these two, or it could be just one of. So, of course, we'd love the game. I'm going to urge you, please, if we don't go up there and beat Birmingham 5-0, don't start having a shit fit. Or if Birmingham were to score late and get a point, don't lose your shit over that. Look at it, not in what minute they scored. Look at it as that's a good point away from home. A good point would be a good point away from home. Of course, we're chasing all three, but I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, if I'm completely honest. We usually have joy up there, don't we? Or good days out. Then with Sean Williams scored a rocket years and years ago. Ben Thompson scored 2 in the midweek when we got a little revival under Neil Harris and kept us up. Ben Thompson played a massive part in that, by the way. Goals and assists he got over sort of 5-6 games. Well, Ben Ekafobi, 98th minute. Kevin Nisbet even scored there. Some good away days, but usually it's pretty even and it ends in a draw. And I am going to go for it to end in a 1-1 draw. I am going for Derek Mazusako to get his opening goal for the club. That will please Kenny, because me and Kenny have been having this ding-dong for quite a while. And he said, I bet you Mazusako scores more goals than Billy Mitchell. I said, I bet you neither of them score all season. But I took the bet. So I've got Billy. He's got Mazusaka, I think it's 50 quid, isn't it, Ken? Is it? Let me know, I can't remember what it was. So I'm going to go put Kenny 1-0 up and Mazusako to get his first goal for the club in a 1-1 draw. It will still be a very good point and ready to take us back to the den against Preston before the international break. And so that is your lot for this preview show. I hope that you have enjoyed it. All that is left for me to say is I will not see you in Birmingham tomorrow. Unfortunately, it's the first away game in the league or the cup of the season that I'm going to miss. I spoke about this briefly yesterday. I've had a little promotion at work. Nice little segue there. Hopefully Mill will get promoted as well. And I've been at work since Sunday at 8 a.m. It is now, what is it? It's 1 p.m. on Monday. And I'm here till Tuesday at 4 p.m. You get to sleep in between, don't worry. So I'll be fine on that front. I'm sure you're not actually worried about whether I sleep or not. You just want your videos and you've got it. So I'm finishing here tomorrow at 4 and then I'm off till Friday. But I'm not going to get to Birmingham in time. Henry's coming to stay at mine because he's working down my way. So I may or may not stream. I might watch the game with him and just do a full-time reaction. But the O'Maras will call you in at full-time and fan cams to follow as well. Good luck if you're going. Please bring home the 3 points. And please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.